of golf in the Pocono Mountains. 2 locations, Pocono Manor and Mount.
That was quite a thrill. You know, he came up to the last hole that day and he needed par to break 80 and he 2-putted for 79 and we were high-fiving and hugging in a fifth.
Every hole is just totally unique as far as the layout and the concept. No two really look the same. And then the views.
Now, the field has overtaken Tiger, obviously, as a potential winner. Is it going to continue, do you think? Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. I'm Harry Donahue, along with Ellen Cologe. And Ellen, today we're beginning our tour of golf in the Pocono Mountains. 2 locations, Pocono Manor and MtAiry Golf and Casino.
Yeah, MtAiry is just a beautiful course, just breathtaking views, and it's the only course here in the Poconos that's connected to a casino, so some great deals. And the course is also designed after Sports Illustrated's 18 best holes in America. You won't want to miss that.
Pocono Manor is celebrating its 100th anniversary, and they have a lot of things planned this year for that centennial. We'll be back to find out what's planned and take a look at Pocono Manor with pro Greg Wall. Next, as Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management, continues in just a moment. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By Club Champion, better fit, lower scores. Now open in Valley Kinwit. By Southwest Greens, the Pro Knows. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
Defining a target, realizing a dream. Susquehanna Bank can help you get your plans off the ground. Whether you're sending kids to college or doing something special for yourself. Susquehanna's financial advisors are worth talking to. We can help you find the smartest way to borrow money and save money in the process. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for dreamers like you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management, and we're with Greg Wall.
Very nice to see you.
Here at Pocono Manor Golf Club in Pocono Manor, Pennsylvania. Easy to get to from the Philadelphia area. Greg, you just come up the Northeast Extension. You're 25 minutes away, right?
That's right, Harry. We're easy from New York over the GW Bridge, about hour and a half. Coming up Philly, the Northeast Extension, we're about 20 minutes off the Pocono exit. Yeah, we're only a couple hours from the whole all the metropolitan areas. Very easy to get to.
This is a special year. 100 years, a centennial. Back in the day, it opened up with as a 9-hole golf course. William Flynn was involved, the noted architect. Now you have an east and a west course. But talk about, in June, what's going to be happening.
Well, Wednesday, June 27th, we're having our centennial. As you said, our original 9 holes here was built in 1912. We opened in 1912. The hotel itself opened in 1902. So we're having a centennial celebration. We're having a big outing here. We're going to have the hickory stick clubs, the knickers.
Which you're going to have to hit,
which
right?
Apparently I'm wearing knickers and I'm hitting the hickory stick driver with every foursome that comes around. We have some dignitaries and VIPs coming, but we've created some nice centennial golf packages for all of our groups and the hotel guests this year. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. A lot of history here in Pocono Manor the past 100 years.
And we're standing on the tee at one of the signature holes, the number 7 hole, par 3. Now, this is about as short a par 3 you're going to see, not only in the Poconos, but in the country. Yeah. What are we looking at here?
Well, you're looking at 77 yards, Harry, straight down. And, usually the first time here, usually somebody's going to stand up and they hit it, and then it goes, they think they're hit a great shot, and it goes flying over the green, or they dump it in the little creek there in front of the green. So it's a very popular hole. It's probably our signature hole. Folks that don't remember east or west, they call and say, I want to play that course that has that little short par 3.
A little short par
3. A lot of history here. Arnold Palmer played an outing here back in the 60s. He made 5.
Really?
He made a double bogey.
Out of the creek?
Yeah, went right in the creek. He went right in the creek. So there's a lot of history, and everybody's got stories about playing number 7. We've had people say they threw the ball in the hole for a hole-in-one. Does it count? So we have a lot of fun with this hole. It's really a fun hole to play.
Well, speaking about how far it is, 77 yards on the card, we had the chance to see a foursome come up here, a bunch of young guys, and First guy steps up, and you said, hit it like it's only 40 yards.
Yeah,
and he
hit
put
about 40 yards
And he put
away.
it 10 feet away.
Yep.
You should have been caddying for Arnie that day.
Yeah. And if you notice, the other three weren't even close to the green. They hit them all in the creek short.
Still
So
takes a lot of
it's
skill.
Tricky. It's tricky. Yeah,
You know,
gotta
you
trust it.
speak about holes in one, of course. Your dad, Art Wall, winner of the 1959 Masters, one of, I think, 24 tour events that he won back in the day. He did it in 1959. And this was the club that he represented when he was out on tour.
Yeah, back in the early 50s, actually, Mr. Cuddle was our first club professional here. He was a club pro here for 50 years, and he and Dad got to be friends, and Jack asked him about maybe representing Pocono Manor on tour. So Dad became the touring pro for Pocono Manor for many years, and in his big year, 59, when he won the Masters, even on the TV, I've heard it on Jim McKay doing the Masters when Dad won it, and it was Art Wall of Pocono Manor. So yeah, Pocono Manor got a lot of yardage out of the Art Wall name for sure.
And you were able to round up some photographs, digging back some memorabilia with your dad. You have pictures of him on that 18th green. He was playing with who? Julie Boros?
He played with Julie Boros the last day. Birdied 5 of the last 6 holes. So
Five of the last 6.
Still kind of known as one of the great finishes, I think. We had All-Star Golf here back in '61, which was a kind of a neat thing. That was a TV series.
Great picture, speaking of the signature 7th hole, of people all over this hole.
Yep, we'll see that picture, I'm sure, and that was fun. So, yeah, a lot of history here. A lot of history here.
What other holes would you say are kind of interesting here on the East course first, Greg?
Well, our East course, the 3rd hole, par 3, again, it's kind of a unique par 3. You have to hit the ball about 165 yards straight out, and then the hole sits down about 20 or 30 feet down. So you hit it up top, and it's got to trickle down. So it's kind of a neat hole. Our 16th hole here, little par 4, narrow, carry a little creek, dog leg left. It's just a real fun golf course. It's an old-time course, a lot of grass bunkers out there, not too many sand traps, but it really kind of reminds you of the old days when you play here. But
now, obviously, you can tell the terrain is hilly. Are there any flat holes, or is everything up and down?
There's a couple flat holes here on our east. It's not all up and down. Our other course, the west course, you know, as we know, we have 2 courses here. Our Fazio West course is much flatter, a little longer, a little more wide open. So we really have 2 unique golfing experiences here, Harry.
Yeah. Getting back to your dad, I know you said you had the chance to caddy for him. You caddied for him at Augusta because he won in '59, but he played in the tournament up until the late 80s.
He played up until 1988. 1988 was his last Masters, and I caddied for him, so that was quite a thrill. You know, he came up to the last hole that day, and he needed par to break 80, and he 2-putted for 79, and we were high-fiving and hugging, and probably people were wondering what the heck's going on, why are they so excited about that, but we knew it was his last competitive round at Augusta, and he broke 80, so that was pretty cool.
How about that? And in his later years, he still went back because he had an invitation to be a member of the Champions Dinner, which is held on the Tuesday night prior to the start of the tournament.
He'd go back every year, right up to 2001 when he passed away, and he'd go back and he'd go to the Champions Dinner Tuesday, then he'd play in the par 3 tournament Wednesday, and usually Wednesday night or Thursday morning he'd go back, come home, that's when everything got serious down there. But you know, he loved Augusta, he loved the Masters, they treated him great, and he was really proud to be a past champ.
And he's one of the few guys to have won a tour event preceding the week of Augusta. I think you could probably on one hand have the names of the guys that did that.
Won the Azalea Open in Wilmington, North Carolina the week before, and you're right, then went on and won the Masters. And '59 was his big year. He was Player of the Year, leading money winner, Varden Trophy, so he had a big time year that year.
That's great history.
Yep.
Well, listen, Greg, good luck with the Hickory shafts. You're going to put the +4s on and get into the outfit of the turn of the century?
Absolutely. The
what they were wearing?
Socks, you got it, man.
Back in what, 1912, huh?
1912, that's when our golf course, our first 9 holes here at Pocono Manor started. And, you know, as I said, it's just a proud tradition of golf, and along with our hotel and everything else that we have here on our 3,000 acres.
Well, it should be a special day and a special remembrance for you, the history of your dad and yourself here at Pocono Manor. Good luck.
Thank you, Harry. Nice talking with you.
Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Coming up next, we leave beautiful Pocono Manor and we head to Mt.Airy Golf Club and Casino. That's coming up next on Inside Golf, sponsored by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management.
In 1916, a small group of dedicated golfers decided to turn their passion into a business. And the PGA of America was born. Our plan was to teach golf and to run golf courses. But along the way, we learned we taught something much more valuable than a game. And we built something far more enduring than clubhouses or fairways. So now, after almost 100 years, we've come to realize that what we thought would be a success story has always been, and always will be, a love story. From the 28,000 dedicated professionals at the PGA of America to the 27 million men, women, and children who share the passion that is our business. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Our next stop on the Poconos tour is Mount.Airy Golf Club and Casino. Head pro Chris Zelenka shows us exactly what makes Mount.Airy so unique.
Mount.Airy Golf Club was designed back, the concept of it in the early 60s. Sports Illustrated put out a best 18 holes in America, in the USA, and the golf course architect at that point, Hal Purdy, was the gentleman that grasped that and designed Mount.Airy Golf Club after the best 18 holes in the USA. We have holes from Pennsylvania, Georgia, Augusta, National, Philadelphia, Marion, Pebble Beach, variety of holes, Oklahoma, all over the country. So that was why the golf course was designed and the concept they followed, which is kind of a unique. When this place opened in 1980, it was the premier course in the Poconos. You couldn't even drive on the fairways. You had to keep the carts on the path. People were lined up on the tee box at 6 a.m. I remember playing here in about 1981, and it was the gem of the Poconos. And again, the concept of all the holes and what they were designed after, I think, was the selling point. I think that's kind of fell off the earth, the map a little bit. So we're trying to get the people to realize of the uniqueness of the layout of the design of the golf course. I mean, when it was built through the 70s, it took approximately 10 years to build, so it took quite a bit of time to build it. In most of the cases of the golf courses, the modern golf courses of today, they're relatively fairly open and flat and, you know, somewhat easier to play. This whole this golf course is just a challenging golf course. The initial layout was 7,200 yards from the tips when it was built and designed. So I think every hole is just totally unique as far as the layout and the concept. No two really look the same. And then the views that you get from the elevation changes. And it has 96 sand traps on it with a lot of water hazards from ponds and natural streams and everything. So I think that's the great thing. Even though it was designed in the 60s and built through the 70s and opening around 1980, it's not really a modern style golf course, yet it has the challenging and the design and layout of some of the premier courses in the United States. You know, I pretty much learned a long time ago, you have to be fair to everybody. You're gonna, you know, if we put 200 golfers through a day, you're gonna have people that are, you know, low handicaps, extremely good players, and you're gonna have beginners that are there. But you know, to keep it fair for everybody, we try to monitor pace of play and keep things moving along and just trying to make it a fun day for everybody. Getting the guests to understand that, you know, there are 196 other golfers out there playing, that we need to make everybody happy, you know. So
what unique programs do you offer? You said you have some real specials that you can talk
well,
about.
The great thing about Mount.Airy Casino Resort and Mount.Airy Golf Club is we are the only casino resort golf course in the state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey where you can walk out the front door of the casino and walk on the first tee of the golf course. Nobody offers that in New Jersey, nobody offers that in Pennsylvania. So that is a great selling point for us. And every person that pays to play here gets back slot money to go over to the casino to gamble, and that varies anywhere from $10 to as high as $40. On Tuesdays, we offer something called Golf and Slots, where the golfer pays us $40 and we give them a $40 casino voucher to go over to the casino to gamble. That is an extremely popular program for us. We pretty much are filled up from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. Our mid-weekend rate is $60. For 18 holes with a cart in the morning and 55 after 1, we give back a $10 slot voucher. And then weekdays during the week, after 2 o'clock, we offer 18 holes in a cart for $25 with a $15 slot voucher to the casino to kind of boost up in lieu of corporate businesses in the area and trying to get golf leagues. I came up with that concept of just offering a real fair rate out there, and that gets our golf course packed up in the afternoons and keeps our bar and restaurant busy also. And then, you know, the golfer's happy because then they get to go over to the casino when they're done. On June 13th, we have the ESPN Radio Golf Tour coming up. You can play our golf course for $20 that day. And then on June 23rd, Saturday night, we have our Playboy Golf Party. And on the 24th, Sunday, is our actual Playboy Golf Tournament where golfers get to play in a 4-player scramble and get to hang out with some Playboy girls and some Playboy girl wannabes. And we have a really fun day that day, and the winning team moves on to, you know, a bigger event throughout the country. And we're looking forward to that coming up. We built a brand new clubhouse with a full-service restaurant, in-bar, shower room, locker facilities, a beautiful patio overlooking our casino resort. So we're really excited about that to step it up a little bit, step up to an upscale clubhouse, which we're really excited about.
Now, Chris also told us about one of his favorite holes.
Well, we're standing on the back of the green on hole number 15. I chose 15 today because it's a pretty neat little hole. Looking back here from the green, back on down to the fairway, obviously you can see, you know, some water here to our right side that comes into play. Green has a little bit of undulation. It plays 375 yards from the white tees and about 420 from the blue tees. Slight, very slight dogleg left, but you have to watch your tee shot. There is the body of water over to your right, and your tee shot could land into that water depending on how long of a player and what tee you're hitting it. Our greens are relatively, we range from I think a 3,500 square foot green to as high as a 9,000 square foot green. We'll have a lot of golfers who will walk in and they'll say, well, what's your tip on reading the greens, the break, and the undulation in them? And I realistically found these some of the hardest greens to read. You know, the mountain, sometimes they say, oh, it breaks towards the mountains or whatever, but you know, there's not realistically that flat. There is undulations in certain parts of them, but the size-wise, again, size-wise, you could range anywhere from 3,500 square feet to 9,000 square feet. I came on board at MtAiry in 2010, and the gentleman I work for, Matthew Magda, is our Vice President of Operations. And Matthew had an vision here of what he wanted to do with the golf course when he took over as VP of Operations and being in control of the golf course. He hired me in 2010, and we came on board here and started a renovation irrigation project, which cost us about $1 million, where we went out through all 18 holes and reinstalled the irrigation system, which was obsolete at that point, to get it to the standards of what the golf course needed to be for the future. At the same time, in the fall of 2010, we went over every one of our cart paths and repaved all of our cart paths to get them up to standards too. We're currently looking at improving our bunkers. We're going to be doing a bunker renovation. We're going to be doing a driving range and putting greens that we've already have addressed, and we're going to be building them this summer to have them open for next season. Our golf course superintendent, Andrew Feist, has been with us for about 4 or 5 years at this point, GCSSA member. Great man with a great team of workers, does a great job keeping our golf course management and the dedication of Matthew Magda, our VP of Operations, and we have some great things planned for the future of MtAiry Golf Club.
So much to see and do at MtAiry, you'll definitely want to check it out. Coming up next, it's Teed Off. That's coming up on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management.
At this moment, across the country, families are packing their bags for a getaway. And no matter where they end up, they'll all be home by dinner. Plan your own at PlayGolfAmerica.com. From finding fun and affordable programs to finding advice from PGA and LPGA professionals, PlayGolfAmerica.com has a way for you to get away. Visit today for details. PlayGolfAmerica.com, your link to the game.
It's time light beer got some character. 99 calories, 100% lager. Yingling Light Lager. Rethink your light beer.
Guests of Inside Golf enjoy dining at Sin Sin, the popular Asian fusion restaurant located on Germantown Avenue in the heart of scenic Chestnut Hill.
And now it's time for Teed Off, brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery.
Excitement as you go through the tournament.
And welcome back. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank, continues with Teed Off today from the Tilted Kilt in King of Prussia, right on Route 202, adjacent to the King of Prussia Mall. They have specials every happy hour, every day. They also have 2 great bars, 50 flat screen TVs, and complimentary valet parking. Our guest today, the head pro at Springford Country Club, Rich Steinmetz. Also from past Eagle and Philadelphia Stars fame is Ken Dunnick, now the publisher of Jersey Man magazine and a real avid golfer. And speaking of avid golfer, Tony Leodora, no stranger to Teed Off. Tony is the host of Golf Talk Live every Saturday morning on WNTP in Philadelphia. Gentlemen, the last 14 majors have been won by 14 different competitors, which is an amazing streak when you consider there a few years ago, Rich, it looked like it was Tiger Woods and the field. Now, the field has overtaken Tiger, obviously, as a potential winner. Is it going to continue, do you think, for the remaining 3 majors that we have this golf season?
There's a real good chance it will, considering you got 6 of the current world top 10 players that haven't won a major. So, I mean, when you think about that, there's a real good chance it'll continue the rest of the year. So.
I know you said you were pretty surprised when I first mentioned that stat to you.
Yeah,
14 in a row.
Yeah.
That goes back, what, more than 3 years?
Into 2009, yeah, yep.
Just about the time that Tiger was beginning to take his little hiatus. Kenny, what do you think? Is it possible that this streak will continue? Is it good for the game of golf, or are we a fandom that likes to root for, the favorite every time one of these big majors comes along?
Well, I think we do like the root. I mean, Phil Mickelson's still an extremely popular figure on the tour, and you're right, the 14 in a row have coincided with Tiger's downfall. So I think it's going to continue because I just don't think there's a dominant player on the tour right now. A lot of young talent coming up, so it might continue.
Tony, what's your take on it?
Yeah, the thing that makes it good is that week in and week out, when you get ready for that tournament, and in this case for the majors, you really have no idea who is going to win it, and that makes for a little bit of excitement as you go through the tournament. I think that unknown thing is a good thing. If it goes on too long, it's always a story. Whatever goes on too long, people get tired of. So if you have a number one, if you have a Tiger Woods that wins everything for 10 years, people get tired of that and want some parity. Pete Rozelle would be so proud of the PGA Tour right now. When you talk about parity, I mean, there really is almost an unlimited number of players who could win week in and week out, and even the majors. I know that shrinks a little, but even the majors.
What was that stat you mentioned? That 6 of the top 10 guys
I think I said it wrong, but I think it's 6 of the current top 10 that are not on that list of the last 12 majors won, or 14 majors won. Yeah, they're not on that 14, yeah.
And the one thing that is always brought up is, well, who's the best player that's never won a major? And obviously that list is expanding. I mean, when you consider guys that have been around for a while or even not that long, that are really considered top players in the world, and yet they haven't cracked that winner's column. I mean,
Luke Donald, Lee Westwood.
Why is it a guy like Lee Westwood hasn't won a major?
Well, you can see, when in that pressure cooker we talked about, I mean, he tends to, like at the Masters, how many short putts did he miss under 3 feet? He missed a lot of short putts and little things like that, and I'm just surprised he hasn't gotten more comfortable in those situations yet. I mean, the guy's number 3 in the world right now, or whatever he is. I mean, it's amazing that he hasn't cracked in there yet. So.
And yet, sometimes I say, well, there are certain courses for certain horses, but every year they play one of the majors at the same venue, the Masters. There's the Rota for the British Open Championship. So Lee Westwood is certainly familiar with all those courses.
Yeah, it's not unfamiliarity.
Familiarity has nothing to do with it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The thing is, when they tee it up this year for the Open, I mean, how far do you have to go down the list before you say, all right, this guy really doesn't have a chance to win? I don't know, maybe 200. Yeah. It's amazing, and that I think that heightens excitement a little bit going in. There's that, and also when you wind up with some of these stampedes coming down that last 9 of the tournament on Sunday, those things are good for golf, where there's not just one guy running away with it.
How about you, Ken? When you're watching on Sunday, do you want to see a name guy up there, or would you prefer to see a couple of unknowns in the last group?
When it comes to television golf, I don't think we have a choice. I mean, they seem to follow Tiger, even though he may be 10, 12 shots out of the lead.
Even if he didn't make the cut.
Exactly.
They follow him when he pulls out of a tournament with a helicopter headed back home, right?
But I find myself rooting for a guy like Lee Westwood just because he's had such a great career. You would like to see him break through and have the crowning achievement of golf and winning a major.
Well, here's the Westie. And there'd be a few of these lifted, if and when. Thanks for joining us, guys, on Teed Off. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank, continues in just a moment.
Hi, my name's Mandy, and I work at the Tilted Kilt and King of Prussia. Come check out our bar where every hour is a happy hour and where we have over 50 flat-screen TVs.
The Tilted Kilt Pub and Eatery. Great food, cold beer, and lots of varieties. A Celtic pub with amazing atmosphere, fantastic sports entertainment, and most of all, beautiful cast members.
Come see us.
Early mornings, late nights, and way too many takeout dinners. Running a business takes energy, determination, and sacrifice. And whether you're a startup, well-established, or somewhere in between, the people of Susquehanna Bank have the knowledge to help you succeed. From cash management solutions to the benefits of local loan decisions, we help keep your business moving ahead. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for businesses like yours. Member FDIC.
For more golf course tours, swing tips, and deals on greens fees, check out the new teeitupphilly.com. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Hope you enjoyed our tour here in the Poconos of Pocono Manor and MtAiry. I know you enjoyed the casino at MtAiry.
I did. It's a beautiful place, beautiful course, and you can play the slots while, right after you golf. It's a great combination, and they have some great deals. And if you'd like to check out the deals here at Pocono Manor or at MtAiry, we will have a link on our website to both of these courses. Just go to insidegolf.net.
Speaking of great deals, don't forget the Play Around Pocono card. $40, and that means you can play 8 different courses, including these 2, for just $25 a round. That is a great deal.
Sure is.
Next week, we'll be at Split Rock and Buck Hill.
Looking forward to those 2.
Back in the Poconos. For Ellen Cloutier, I'm Harry Donahue. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up, and we'll see you next time on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank and Wealth Management. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By Club Champion, better fit, lower scores. Now open in Bala-Cynwyd. By Southwest Greens, the Pro Knows. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.